Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at a highlight professional match of StarCraft 2. Our map shall be 10,000 feet. The matchup, a Zerg versus a Terran. A Terran versus a Zerg, depending on your chosen flavor. The Zerg player, the blue hatchery, the upper left, it is Rogue. And their Terran opponent, the red command center, landing into the bottom right, none other than Clem. Clem versus Rogue. Yes, get excited. Two names best in the business, I would say, actually. Definitely up there. Champion level material, undoubtedly. Builds, so far, normal. Dreadfully so. Is it because they don't need to do anything special, though? That the mechanics are what actually matters? Scandalous, I know. Clem sending that SCV across. Rogue's Overlord just about to get here. Where are my health bars, Alarak? We are trying to run a business here. We've got a show to do. The damaged health bars have returned. The SCV spots the hatchery completing. We'll know, undoubtedly, the timing on that and be able to plan from that point. Patrol initiated. A lovely little pentagon here. Not doing any sort of fancier shapes, but just the simple patrol. Okay. The Reaper here, likewise. We get our TVZ battle that we all know and love. Drone carrying a Vespene down to this hatchery for an unusual choice, an odd reason. Rogue pulling off of gas, I would wager, since he got Ling speed going. Very standard play. Clem's Reaper thus far unsuccessful with any kills. The Queen pops out of that hatchery and will shoo our Reaper away. This match, this game, unusual I think to do just a one game. This one is a bit longer than usual and was given to me with one sentence not even a sentence, it was more like just one word, really, because that's how English works now. Overseers. That's all I got with this. So I'm like, Rogue, what did you do? My first thought is, Rogue, what am I in for? What am I about to see? But I, of course, didn't ask and didn't pry for any more. I just said, okay, how informative. Thank you very much, replay recommender. And now we are here. This is what we're getting. So you can help me spot, you can help me find and learn. We'll figure it out together. What on earth is Rogue cooking up that involves an overseer? The Zerglings, oh my god, they're so close. Not able to get him. The Reaper does slip right on by. The butter he lathered himself up in before leaving the barracks comes in handy. Hellion will join, offer some emotional support. Then the emotional support Hellion for the emotional support Hellion shows up, thus creating a perfect, well emotionally supported triangle here. The third hatch will complete. Clem opting for a Banshee play. I like it. Okay. Cloak on the way. Marine shooing away the Overlord. Overlord did see what's going on here. Did see that tech lab moving, and it's probably going... I doubt that that's interference matrix. Be a little surprised if that's interference matrix in a TVZ. Yes. We will... We'll see. Undoubtedly not. The Banshee, first one does complete. My curiosity is, does Clem follow this up with Hyperflight? Or is it just going to be Cloak? I think that's really an important decision here. Because if it's Hyperflight after this, then oh lord, we are in for a Banshee-flavored day, apparently. Which I guess would lead relatively into an Overseer type of play. Although... unusual that would be the focus. We'll find out here shortly. Cloak is about to finish up. Banshee number 2 completed. Number 1 over on the other side. Cloak not yet done. The Queen's... Ooh, Queen's nearly getting a pick off there. Clem. Production. No Hyperflight just yet. No hyperflight. Okay, the starport is moving on with its day. Completes 2 Banshees. Cloak activated here. What do they go for? Do they go for creep tumors? They go for workers? Is there a spore? There is a spore. Oh, Clem's still going to get a few drones for his trouble. 3 drones, a couple Zerglings as well. No Overseer here and present. One is being morphed in. Will not be able to spot them just quite yet. And goes for the tumors on the way out. On the other side, Hellions and Reaper trying to find an opening, possible opportunity. Thus far, looks like met with a whole lot of nothing. Nada. Bubkiss. Zilch, if you will. Okay. They're not having a whole lot of luck there. They clear the last of the tumors, spare the Artosalope. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. I cannot condone such wanton slaughter on my stream. The Hellions, the Reaper grenade actually helping out there, keeping the Zerglings off of them for just a split second is all the Hellions really need to not get surrounded. I really do appreciate, I want to highlight, Clem's been keeping these Hellions alive, okay? Like, I know it's a little thing, not super important. Hellions are not, of course, like the game-winning move, but it's nice to see them just not get thrown away, at least yet. The armory is about halfway done. My hope is that armory finishes and Clem keeps them alive long enough to turn them into Hellbats. That's my hope. That's my dream here. The Zerg forces are undoubtedly harboring a very different dream, one themed around the end of these Marines. Medevac will pick most of them up, get them out of there. Rogue, solid timing with the Hydras, I will say. The defense is on point. Everything's looking fine so far. Queens and Hydras getting a bit fed up, I think, with the shenanigans, though. What happened to our Banshees? They're still alive. At home on the defense. Armory did complete. Clem does turn them into Hellbats. Not the location I thought they would be turned into Hellbats. But I guess here is better than nowhere. Here's better than nothing, right? The Changeling. Will it be spotted? Not quite yet. I don't know where he's running off to, but he's going there. Marines on the right side, engage with the Hydras, spot the Banes morphing in, so now Clem at least knows everything that Rogue's really going for. It is going to be that Hydra Ling Bane setup for the Zerg. Infestors on the way too. That's an interesting choice. I like the choice, I will say. Ooh, not as much as I like this choice for the siege tank here. Clem using the terrain to severe advantage. And shoot them from the other side. Force the Marines to focus their attention elsewhere for a split second. A fungal goes out. The Banes having mediocre connections, I would say. It should be enough. Wow. The Widowmine turned traitor there, killing off most of the Marines. The Hydras not having to do most of the heavy lifting there. A reinforcing group shows up for Clem. The Banshee's trying to focus down the Infestors. Got 2 out of 3. I think, yeah. 2 out of 3 Infestors picked up. The Banshees starting to show some secondary value here, even later into the match. Let's see. Next siege tank up to the front line here will force Rogue's hand yet again. With plenty of forces, I think, to at least clear the tank, yeah. He's got the siege tank. Regicide in the far right corner here. Banshee doing a Banshee thing here. Very annoying. Nuisance. Couple Hydras. The Zerglings will stare at it angrily, I suppose. Until it can no longer be stared at with anger and fury. Gone. Removed from the field. Beautiful Widowmine shots. They're taking out most of the Zergling Baneling. The Hydras are the real backbone, though, I will say, for the defense. The Infestors, I think, are such a good choice. It's such a small thing, but it works out so well. Having just the fungal growth to try to lock down the Marines. He's going for lurkers at this point, too. Which is going to, I think, help him out even further in the defense. Rogue's looking to really just lock this down. Rogue wants to go late game, it feels. Which, I'll say, is a choice up against a Terran that's as good and scary as Clem. Clem is usually, I would say, one of the more aggro Terrans, though, an aggressive mid-game type of Terran. So actually forcing the late-game hand with these tools like Lurkers and Infestors, forcing Clem to go late-game, maybe even go that defensive mech type of setup that we all know how good Maru is at. Maybe that's not Clem's forte. Maybe that's not the kind of game that Clem likes to play. So it could actually work out a bit in Rogue's favor. And you know what else is going to work out, I think, in Rogue's favor? Rogue is going for a Nidus network, which is a very Rogue thing to do. Reinforcements here, trying to stream in, trying to help the group on the left. Widowmine shots, doing fantastic work. Will blow up the Banes on top of themselves, which is not going to be good, of course, for the Widowmines, but I don't think they have a lot of strong feelings on the matter. They probably took out any sort of emotion chips from the Widowmines, lest they feel guilty for how many times they damaged their own forces. What's going on down here? A single Viking finds the Overseer. Not the spot I thought the worm was gonna go in. Clem finds this immediately, shuts it down. This was the first worm. Why would Rogue tip his hand like this? Rogue, perhaps, I think, maybe getting a little ambitious there, a little overzealous, a little big for his Zerg britches, if you will. Showing off the hand of the Nidus worm. Now Clem's just going to keep some forces around in each base. Clem's much more prepared now. 4 command centers on the way, too. Moving up into that Iron Bank type of setup here, we're going to have orbitals galore. The SCV count will start to not necessarily dwindle, but become less important. And that way, Clem can keep up the mineral economy with mules. Switch into a bit more heavy army supply style, perhaps. 7 Overseers are on the way. I'm starting to see maybe what we're up to 12? We have 12 Overseers. What? Rogue. Are we doing the mass changeling business still? Really? I thought this had fallen out of favor. Rogue's like, nothing's fallen out of favor for me. Yeah. Rogue's a march to his own beat tune kind of Zerg, I feel. Possibly going for some damage in the bottom left here. He's spread out pretty nicely, though. Clem is going for that defensive type of setup. Look at the mini-map. Look at the sensor towers. Just barely here. The perfect lineup here. That's impressive, actually. Okay, to set these up with effectively 0 overlap. The rest of them have a bunch of overlap, of course, but this is the one I'm gonna focus on. Okay, well done. That's a magnificently placed sensor tower. Here, I'll admire anything, apparently. Right down to the sensor tower placement, yeah. Marines moving out. They're both going for the late game type of setup here. We've had a couple minutes now. They both are taking macro turns because they recognize, oh, this is the kind of game we're having now. Really? Okay. Well, let's follow the cloud of Overseers, I suppose, for a second, while I hydrate myself. Hydration alert, lads. Take a drink. Make sure you're taking care of yourself out there, okay? 16. What? Why? Because 20 wasn't enough for you. God bless. It's for changelings. Oh my gosh. Well, and I guess helping out to mess up targeting. Because you can keep everything set up over the Zerg army, make it more difficult. Like, you move the Overseers in at the same time that the Banes are rolling in, so then Clem can't target fire the Bane. Why? Oh my gosh. It's a slaughter. Imposters galore. Clem actually stims to deal with them. No. Come on. Nidus Worm on the left side here does actually have a group of defenders. Force the pickup. Oh, Clem. Clem. He doesn't see it. Not quite yet. Clem's attention focused elsewhere. The worm is going to complete in the main base. There are lurkers in this worm. Uh-oh. The lurkers burrow. The lurkers, some of them scramble, try to burrow. One of them gives up. Not able to do it. The Liberators set up shop, force everybody back into the worm. Over on the left side here, we have the Overseer Cloud offering some cover for the rest of the forces to come swing in, destroy some SCVs, and get out. This is another advantage you have for the Changeling setup. You can put worms everywhere. He's even going for a second Nidus network, just to be able to make 2 worms at a time. That is not a bad decision. This is actually a really good spot for a worm, I will say. Clem does see it. Stemming some forces forward will be able to shut it down right as it completes. Okay. Taking care of that business. Gets rid of the Changelings, too. Like, at this point, you quit making Marines so that you can always identify Changelings. Rogue hitting multiple sides at once here. We've got the lurkers on the left with Nidus Worm coming into support. There's nothing in the worm, though, I will say. The planetary dealt with, destroyed second network, making a worm in the main base. I think you don't actually let anything out here. There. Gets rid of that out. Did they use the worm to escape? I think so. The main base worm now comes up. Lurkers come out. There we go. Okay. Lurkers burrow. Lurkers set up. Lurkers go a-lurkin'. Start to pick off some of the production here, which is actually going to be a really nice move, I will say. Liberators met with suddenly 17 Corruptors. Corruptor comes to support the Lurker attack. We'll get rid of the Liberator, even take a shot at the flying factory. The Zerglings in the bottom left here are having some mild success. I'll say Liberators, yes, they deal with Zerglings, but not very effectively. Not the most efficient of attacks, I will say. Rogue. The best part is nobody cares. There we go. Okay. Finally sees it. This has been here for enough time to have gotten the creep out. Okay. The creep was fully set out from the Nidus Worm. It was done. It was done creeping, which means that's been there for a good minute, I would say. Oh my gosh, you two. Okay. Chaos and shenanigans at all fronts. Snipes going out onto the Corruptors. Rogue, perhaps. I think he's just using this more as a distractionary force. The Changelings continue. What's my Overseer count at? 34. Not too bad, I will say. I mean, look at this. Yeah. Oversee this one, will you, Indigos? Apparently. Worm spawned and dealt with just as quickly, it would appear. The scans go out. Clem's economy still holding strong despite only being at 50 SCVs. Thank you. 13 orbitals. Clem is... the poor Clem, okay, the Terran in this position, like... I admire, you know, everything that Rogue is doing to cause this chaos, to go about this strategy. But I kind of feel bad for the Terran, like, having to deal with all this. You're like, oh my god, really? Like, this is what I'm doing? Sitting here playing whack-a-mole with Nidus worms, while meanwhile 81 changelings just walk into whatever base happens to float the planetary. Holy moly. The planetary is efficient at dealing with changelings, I will say. That was an impressive shot. I like that. Forces in the main base will deal with this. The unfortunate thing, the bad news here for any supporter of the Terran really, is that Clem is kind of on the back foot. Clem's still trying to just stabilize here. Rogue has just been non-stop with this chaos, with this absurdity for what feels like 7 minutes straight now. At what point does Clem get enough of a footing to actually go out and get some damage done? Because every time Clem is ready and wanting to do something, it seems, suddenly we have 51 overseers show up, giving just some air cover for the Banes and the Infestors as they roll in to debate doing some damage, it would seem. The Lurker. Just being annoying. Going for just a handful of workers, it would seem. Picks off a Marine, too, for his trouble. This is actually going to give Clem a decent little opportunity, close to the front line. Ghost able to dishevel the Lurkers, get them out of their burrowed position. It's going to force Rogue's hand, though. The Overseers. 51 still. He hasn't made any more. But he could. Still, though, we're over 50 Overseers. Are you kidding me? Solid Fungal goes out. Grabs the pack of Ghosts and Marines. As you can hear by the audio, definitely had some Ghosts in that pack. That's nice. Rogue's built up a massive bank, too. Oh, Clem's got a nuke here. He could use it. I'd be a little surprised, though, if Rogue gives him the opportunity. Lurkers are set up at both of the outlying bases, really just trying to lock down all possible opportunities. A decent surround, outplayed by the Medevac, though. Medevac able to pick them up. The two Liberators still set up to help deal with things. Clem, he's not dead. He's still actually relatively stable. The army supply's been holding somewhat strong at 150. Liberators are now joining the pack, and this is what Clem needs to be able to push out onto the map. The Lurkers are a zoning tool. The Liberators are a better zoning tool, for the Terran at least. Yep, now they're able to push a bit forward. Might want to take out this Spore Crawler. Might want to take out this Spore Crawler. There we go. Oh, those are changelings. Fooling even me, it would seem. Marines pushing forward. Rogue says it is go time. Unleashes the swarm from both sides here. We've got changelings, we've got Zerglings, Banelings, and Overseers. It's so many changelings. Well, that didn't quite work out as Clem, I think, was hoping it would. There are 100 changelings on this field. What? Are you for real? He lost Overseers. Okay, we're down to 48. So silly. Widowmine's set up, helping out. That's so many changelings, though. It's so silly. Like they just sit here. Like, what are you gonna do? Fight all 100 of us? It's gonna take precious time, necessary resources. Clem actually does manage to get out there and find a hatchery, kill off 24 drones in the process. Rogue is gonna make him quickly regret moving out on the map, though, it would seem. Swings in here, picks off the SCVs, gets rid of the Liberators too, which might actually be the bigger victory there. Ghosts over here on the left side somehow managed to get this hatchery. Rogue losing multiple bases. Clem going even further in onto the creep. I don't think he'll be able to get this one, though. The Marines are too injured. Nearly, though. A third of the way left. Ghosts. Couple of Ghosts cloaked. You gotta admire the Ghost audio. Okay, voice actor on point. Alright, nailed it. Absolutely. I don't recall who did the Ghost audio, but well done to them. You tip the hat, clap for that, because, hey, good job on that. That is memorable. Clem actually trying to deal with the changelings. Clem is down to 18 SCVs. As long as they're all on gas, I guess it's fine, because he's still got 14 orbitals now. He's trying to keep up some semblance of income. Rogue had to dip a bit into the gas bank, is running a bit low on that. Getting the hatcheries set back up and running. Trying, at least. Clem's scanning this, rightfully, and going, huh, haven't retaken this one yet, huh, okay. That's actually a pretty nice thing for Clem, then. Suddenly, Broodlords, by the way, in case you weren't paying attention to the production tab. Those are Broodlords. Liberators, not going to help out too much up against them. They will help out up against pretty much everything else, though. Zerglings in the bottom left force the base to lift. Do we have any Corruptors left? There are some Corruptors left still. The Broods starting to chip away. Each of these orbitals is actually really important. Clem doesn't have the SCV count anymore. Changelings. Oh my gosh. The Planetary trying its best to deal with everything. The changing, look, they're just causing a traffic jam. They're actually causing problems for the forces to get here in time. Damn it, Rogue. The Rogue's gonna inspire people to do awful things on the ladder. Over on the right side here, Zerglings are having some mild success, actually. Clearing out some of the defenders, the Broods chipping away at this. How many orbitals now? 11. He lost 3 orbitals. Some production still on the way, still attempting, but it is not looking pretty. Things are getting worse by the minute here for the Terran. So stupid. Can I see how many changelings? No, changelings are not something that we keep track of here. I'd have to throw it into the replay stats, but oh my gosh, we can imagine. Okay, the Overseer count has been absurd. Obscene, even. Obnoxious. How many other words can I come up with? Zergling, Banelings swinging in, Broodlords desperately trying to catch up. The Overseers doing their part of both making changelings and occupying space. Forcing the Terran's army back to the main base here, where there's more changelings waiting for them, I will say. Ghosts, they are cloaked. Not that I think that's going to make a whole lot of difference when you have just as many Overseers as you do any other army unit. Like, this is the problem, okay? If Overseers cost 1 supply, we wouldn't see this crap. But no, they're totally free. They're perfectly fine, so it's okay. Corruptors force the buildings to burn, start to vacate the premises. Clem is seriously in some hot water. He's got no money. Look at the place. He's got 1 worker. I'm sorry. Where's the worker? I can't. Oh, he's here. Really? Okay. Well then. It's up to you, Timmy. The sole surviving SCV of Clem's economy. He's got 7 orbitals still, which is not enough, I will say, to actually, I think, make his way back into this. And the army supply is actually in favor of the Zerg as well. Clem, I think, is probably just not too happy at this moment, okay? He's trying. He's making Rogue work for it, I will say. Zergling's Corruptors force a lift over on this side. The Broods actually coming to an engagement here. Ghost starting to get a snipe off. Zerg forces. I don't even feel like you really have to commit. It's just chipping away. And Clem would agree. GG goes out. Rogue. God bless. Rogue with an Overseer-focused strategy, it would say, from Nidus Worms to Changelings to just occupying airspace above your army. Wow. That was something. I will say thank you, of course, for the recommendation. That was entertaining at the very least. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Are you inspired by Rogue's Zerg-flavored antics, my fellow Zerg lovers? Or if you're not a Zerg lover, are you now terrified of what you might see on the ladder? Because I think the non-Zerg parts of me are certainly a little uncomfortable. If you enjoyed, let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day.